Hello, Spin Snake here with another figures review. Yeah, I said it first this time. Today we have got playing on your YouTube, DC Collectibles, Injustice Gods Among Us, Green Arrow versus Deathstroke. Green Arrow and Deathstroke. Both incredibly fun characters to use in the game. But what do we think of these figures? Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this look of Green Arrow. And I like the look of Deathstroke. Just the figure, I kind of have quite a few gripes with it. So, zooming out, you can see that we have a different backdrop with these ones. Where with Superman and Nightwing, Aquaman and Black Adam, we had Themyscira. These ones, we have what appears to be Arkham. So, kind of a close look at that backdrop. You can see you have a picture which looks like Professor Arkham there, maybe. Mr. Freeze's chamber, maybe. And then, I think Poison Ivy's chamber. Yeah, I think this is Arkham. It looks like Arkham. It's very, very nice. Some great detail in it. Really is very cool. And then for the box, you have a standard white box as we've come to know with DC Collectibles, with some nice dark green and light green on the front. Green Arrow versus Deathstroke, action figure 2-pack, and warning choking hazard. At the top we have from the creators of Mortal Kombat, Injustice Gods Among Us. On the side we have some very menacing pictures of the figures. From the other side we have pictures of the figures and the creators, the sculptors, sculpted by, I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Jean or Jean St. John or Jean St. Jean or Jean St. Jean. I don't know, please correct me. Oh, you can't in comments. Because you could just write the same thing. Never mind. And Robert Linders. They did do a great job sculpting these. And on the back you can see here we have, what if our greatest heroes became the greatest threat? Injustice, Gods Among Us, introduced, blah 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 blah. Collect them all. You can also get Wonder Woman and Solomon Grundy. This is an alternative costume for Solomon Grundy, I'm certain of it. I need to look it up though. I do have them. And then some more logos at the back. And then a barcode at the bottom. Okay, size comparison. Now, I don't know if it's just my lot of figures, but I seem to have great difficulty getting them all to stand. I think it's because they've just got such tiny feet. But anyway, moving on to size comparison. Green Arrow stands just under 4 inches to the top of his hood. And Deathstroke is 3 3/4. It's weird how one's always a little bit taller. They both come with one accessory each. Deathstroke his gun, Arrow his bow. Let's have a quick look at that. So you can see it's a metallic green with a black grip, and this is actually elastic going around here. It's just looped around this side here of that. It actually came off for me. So you do get this unfortunate ugly knot. You could probably rotate it round so the knot's right down the bottom there, but it takes a bit of finessing and I'm not that bothered, to be honest. All in all, it's got a pretty nice sculpt to it, and yeah, it's okay. Sorry about the paint on my fingers. Like I said in my previous video, I've just literally finished doing some modelling, so I did try and get it off, but paint can be quite notorious. While we're all blurry on the background, let's have another look at the Deathstroke gun. As you can see, it looks just like a, I guess it looks like an M4 carbine rifle with a scope, a undercarriage flashlight and laser, and then a nice stock. It looks like a suppressor on the end here. I don't remember him using this in the game. Could be mistaken. I remember him using pistols, and I remember him using a sword, but I don't remember him using this. So I could be mistaken. It's been a long time since I've played it. As you can see, we have like this interesting T-shape cut out of it, which you saw. You very simply put it on there. And it sits there quite nice, although this is a rubber and this is quite hard plastic. So you will have some issues if it gets too warped. Taking a closer look at the actual figures, Green Arrow has a pretty decent head sculpt. Does it look like his packaging? Yeah, that's actually not too bad. His suit's actually really well designed, has some great details in it. This padded kind of quilted texture on the hood, his sleeve, and then his like little skirt thing looks very, very nice. His boots and knee pads also have some great detail in them. and his quiver. My quiver is a little bit bent. The arrows look okay, and his other arm and his gauntlet looks fine. Some nice detail going on in here. As for Deathstroke, again, some great detail. One thing that isn't coming over on my camera is this orange is a lot brighter than it's coming up on this camera. So I'm not too sure why, but it's very, very vibrant. But the helmet sculpted really well. His scales, again, really, really great. Here's a gripe, is that he has these two pistols on his legs, but they're non-removable. So that's annoying. But his boots and his gauntlets look amazing. The back of the character looks absolutely amazing. These bullets are really impressive with the sculpt to the scale. Okay, articulation. They all sport the same articulation. The heads are on a ball peg, so they can go forward that much, back that much, and can rotate around 360 degrees. You get a little bit of a rock in it, but really it's nothing worth speaking of. Shoulders are on ball discs. They can go around 360 degrees, and they can go out that far. Now, they rotate at the bicep just here, but this cover is attached to the arm, so it rotates with you. So you will have a bit of problem when you get some poses, but it can go around 360 degrees. Single bend in the elbow, and then this hand you rotate at the actual wrist, but it is a little bit hindered by, again, the cover. Whereas this one, it rotates at the glove just here, and this part here moves with it, so 360 degrees. But if you try and do like that, you'll have some problems. As you can see, this hand is kind of like the arrow holding hand, and this hand is for holding the bow. He has a diaphragm joint, so you can go forward a little bit to the side. You can rotate, not really much back either. Basically just for a bit of rotation, but not even full. So there to there. Has a lower ab crunch, can go forward really far and back that far. No waist rotation whatsoever. T-cut hips, so he has a Spartan of that, and then a split of that. This lower skirt, I should add, is a very soft rubber, much like Superman's cape, so it doesn't really hinder at all. He has rotation just above the knee here, 360 degrees, then we have double bend in the knee of that. A boot rotation, 360 degrees, and an ankle point from there to there. As for Deathstroke, exactly the same. Head is on a ball peg, so you can go forward that much and back that much. A little bit of a rock, and then a rotation of 360 degrees. It's kind of hindered by this collar. Actually, it's not. I'm not quite sure why it's hindered, but for some reason these ones don't have much movement compared to the other ones. Shoulders are on ball discs, but he is going to be hindered greatly by these shoulder pads, and they are not soft. They are very firm. So you can only go up that far, but you can go back to that far. You can go out that far, and then you can rotate at the bicep 360 degrees. Single bend in the elbow, and then has a glove rotation here. Nothing in the wrist. Has a diaphragm joint, and these bullets are a soft rubber, so they won't hinder you. They kind of turn into a hard rubber here, but from here, see there's like a gap just there. So from here all the way to... Actually, you know what? It's a soft rubber all the way around. It's one piece going all around. I thought it was a separate piece there. But anyway, moving on. So you have a diaphragm, gives you some rotation. Yeah, you can do full 360. A little bit forward and back, and a little bit side to side, not much. Lower ab crunch like the rest, and go forward that much, and back that much. No waist cut or anything. T-cut hips, so you can do a Spartan of that, and then a split kick of that. Like the rest, a rotation just above the knee. Oh, haven't done this one yet. 360 degrees, very stiff. Double bend in the knee. A boot rotation, 360 degrees, and then an ankle point from there to there, and watch those spikes on the toes, they hurt. While I've got Deathstroke, I'm going to show you his gun. The handle is quite large, and his grip on his hand is very small. So I'm unable to get it into his left hand, although that does look a bit more like a trigger hand. You can kind of get it into his right hand, but it's somewhat difficult. And you are stretching the hand to get him to hold it. If you put it in the other hand though, Would help if you use the handle, not the ammo. It just pops. It's not in there very snug. See, slightest little knock and it pops off. Problems while we're here. Had to pop off. As I said in my previous video, I had problems with all of these figures and I had to heat up virtually all of them. Had to pop off both his hands, his wrists, one of his arms, both his boots, and both his ankles were seized. They were fun to undo. With Arrow, you can see he holds his bow just fine. You can't obviously hold it in this hand because it's in the pose of holding an arrow. Problems I had with this one. His arm was completely locked, so I had to heat that off and pop it off. And I think his boots. I don't remember having any other problems with that. I think I just had to pop them and they freed up. Okay, final thoughts on these figures. Would I recommend them? Yes. If you're a fan of the franchise, you're a fan of the series, and you are a fan of the game, and you don't mind the small scale, definitely worth picking up. As I said in my previous video, I'm not a fan of this scale, and it's the only thing that's holding them back for me. If they were larger, I would have kept them, but they are being traded onwards. So anyway guys, that's my review. If you have enjoyed this video, please drop me a like down below. Please add a comment you'd like to add about these figures or my channel. I'd love to hear from you. And as per usual, please subscribe and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye bye.